It's a pleasure being with you this evening, and it's really a sad and a very pathetic moment for all of us. It is unfortunate that these things keep rotating and rotating, unending, unstoppable killings on the plateau. Since 2001, that's what has been the normalcy on the plateau. Today, the abnormal has become the normalcy. People are killed, properties destroyed, people displaced into formal and informal IDPs, people sent into exiles from their ancestral homes, and no one seems to be doing anything. The people have become so helpless. The government is not even acting fast to redeem the situation or to remedy the situation. The people are at crossroads, really lacking what to do. This is so unfortunate. This is so pathetic. Now, the truth about the issue is that most at times before these coordinated attacks and systematic displacement of our people are done, killing and many of lives are done, normally we have something that is very peculiar. There will always be a security alert, formal or informal, because I believe strongly that once if an informal situation that normally becomes a reality, each time there's a security alert, there's about to be an attack either in Mangu, either in Bokos, either in Barkin Ladi, either in Basa, either in Rio, or any of those vulnerable local governments, you always find out that there is an information prior to it. The unfortunate thing is that despite those alerts, despite those security and private informations, nothing seems to be done either by the vulnerable community, either by the government, or irregular, apart from the other ones, which thousands of lives have been lost, which billions of properties have been destroyed, which uncountable number of people are no longer in their ancestral homes. Normally, when these people are sent out, when they are killed, men, and destroyed, their homes burned down or even pulled down completely, that to an extent that when you go to such kind of villages, you hardly can know that people ever live in such areas. Now, what happened is the terrorists in whatsoever name, disguise or pretext, using whatsoever they want to say, they occupy such areas. They occupy such areas freely, operating their lives freely, unquestionable. Our people cannot go back to their homes any longer. And I don't think that is fair. I don't think that is human. Today, our lives have become so valueless. One thing that I have noticed is, I want to say it on record clearly, that this but dastardly and evil acts are being perpetrated mostly by foreigners. People who have found their ways through our porous borders, open and unsecured borders, penetrated into the country, access instruments of identity like the NIN, access rights in this country, even much more than the indigenous people who are the original owners of this land, from Sokoto to Lagos, from Maiduguri to Port Harcourt. These people have become owners of almost everywhere in this country. Therefore, I want to say that we must mount up serious security surveillance at our borders to ensure that only Nigerians and authorized persons are ordered to come into this country. And we must begin a new way of identifying who truly are Nigerians. We really need that. Therefore, that Christmas Eve massacre of innocent lives, I don't know how to explain it. Some are already now in IDPs here in Barkin Ladi, like the firebrand evangelists went that day to pack some of the people. They are here in Barkin Ladi, helplessly, wondering what to do, wondering what the future has to do in a nation that's supposed to be secure. I want to thank you so much for bringing me this privilege, at least to speak out for the voiceless, those that have been silent, those that have been submerged, those that have been oppressed, those that have been suppressed. We have become slaves in our own land. Only God will save us. I want people to put in one or two things together, whatsoever means that not only are we to stay secure, but we must, and I still repeat, we must be able to take each and every person back to his or her ancestral home, safely, secured, and in peace. Thank you. God bless us.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yesterday, there were news reports that the Nigerian president, Bola Tinubu, has issued an order for security agencies to go after those that carried out those attacks. Are you confident in the ability of the federal government of Nigeria to arrest the perpetrators? And has there been any further development, any update to say that any of the perpetrators have been arrested?
That is another angle to it entirely. I think we lack, in this nation, we lack the leadership and the political will to implement our words with action. Year in, year out, since 2001, about 22 years ago, that has been a normal rhetoric. We are on top of the situation. They shall be apprehended and brought to book. They shall be brought to justice. And that ends it. Let me give the president, Bola Tinubu, the spirit of doubt. I mean, the spirit of understanding. At least he's saying this one for the first time. His wife has shown some interest by even her visit to Plateau State. Despite the difference in political ideologies of the state, I saw her coming to the state and giving palliatives or assistance to victims affected across all the local governments, amounting to precisely $500 million. And she also promised to do others. Therefore, I want to give the president the spirit of doubt. I learned today that the vice president was in the state on his behalf. Let us wait. Benefits of doubt. I want to give him that benefits of doubt and wait to see what will really happen. Because we have always had political words like this without action. So that has created some phobia and fear in us, that each time we try to talk or we hear politicians and our leaders saying that it is over. We cannot believe that it is over until it's over. Therefore, I want to still say we are waiting to see what will be done differently this time around. Outside the normal rhetorics of we are on top of the situation, we will do that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Steven Choji. I would like to ask, can you confirm to us how many bodies have been, found? Because as at the last time, we're getting reports that I'm seeing about 160 bodies and several scores injured. Can you confirm to us the number of bodies that have been found and the number of people that have been discovered injured? Do you have an idea of the number?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Like what the governor was able to say officially was about 150. And from my own indication, it is about the bodies and deaths of people in Mangu and Bokos. Over 100 in Bokos and over 15 in that's almost about 100. Now, Ladi, it's I am now presently. I was on my own able to get some information from first-hand information about 4 or 5 villages that were attacked, and the number of people that I was able to notice were almost about 30 or 30 something. So if you say 150 plus 30, that is almost about 150. Apart from the people that are missing, up to now, we have not seen some of the people, we have not seen their bodies. Therefore, I can rightly and on every authority say that the number would have gone over 150.
All right, thank you very much. So another question I have for you is, what role do you think the government should play in addressing this issue of violence? What role do you think that the government should play? Because severally over the years, we've heard the government make different promises to the people that they are on the matter, they are going to resolve the issue, they are going to deploy more security. 2 days ago, the president has also said something. So, but you as a leader in the community, in the affected area, you should know better. So, what do you think? What role do you think the government should play so that we can put an end to this insecurity on the plateau? Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Once again, it's a pleasure. You see, I believe strongly that each and every person knows his or her own responsibilities. Each and every individual that is employed for a purpose, that is assigned for everything, knows his or her own responsibility at that level. But I think what we lack in this instance is the leadership will and the political will, and also the professional will on the side of the security agencies to tackle this.
Engineer Choji, you are muted. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Hello?
Yeah, you can go ahead now.
Okay. What I'm saying, we are the tribes of the hills of the plateau. If someone is thinking that this thing is political, I will say no. If someone is thinking it is religion, I will say no. If someone is saying it is tribal, I will say no. What I know is evil is against good people. Invaders, land agitators, land amassing instruments, territorial annexation, and leadership imposition by force on the people. Many areas in Nigeria have been taken over. They are silent, they can't talk. So what I want government to do is sincerity of purpose. Sincerity of purpose. And this thing will be solved once and for all. The most pathetic thing is that you will see, just like one of our brothers was trying to say, they will come and attack you. When you want to react and try in self-defense, they'll come and arrest you, take you, and you become the culprit. Instead of the defender, you become the offender. So let us do it in sincerity of purpose. Nobody can tell me in his right senses or her senses that these terrorists, their capacity is more than the Nigerian government capacity. Nobody can tell me that, and I will agree. They cannot even face our locals if we are allowed to face them. Therefore, what I want us to do is let sincerity of purpose. Let there be sincerity of purpose. If you are a professional security officer, ensure that you implement your training to the letter without any sentiment. If you know that you are a leader that has either been voted or you impose yourself in power, understand that you are there in the interest of the people. Just do your leadership adequately and do what you are supposed to do without any sentiment. People are hiding under the pretext of tribe to perpetrate evil. People are using religion under the pretext and guise of religion to perpetrate evil. There is no religion, there is no tribe without the bad person and without the good person. What we need to do is, across divides, across our divisions, across our diversity, we must try to identify the evil people among us and bring them and expose them. The locals must be ready to volunteer information. Security men are not spirits. They work on information. Let me tell you, some times ago, I went into a village where it was attacked, and a prominent person who knows, and he saw the people, he knows them. Since I was not there, he said, so people were among the people that came to attack. I said, okay, let us go and inform the security. The only thing is that he will say that he will not be able to give out that security information. He cannot volunteer that information. Okay, if he cannot volunteer that information, how will the security people get on top of the situation? But this one that is happening now, everybody can even see the criminals. You see them moving freely. Nobody's arresting them. And when you want to come out to defend yourself, they arrest you. What kind of a thing is this? So let there be sincerity of purpose. I think that's the bottom line of the issue. Hello?
Prince Rampam, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Ultimate, for that clarity. Just before I go on, I don't know if our second guest has arrived. Please, if you are around, Honorable Hosea Jakak, you can please show yourself or rename your device so we can identify you properly. Yes, and back to you, the Ultimate, Honorable Steven Choji, Engineer. Some people believe that one of the best ways to get rid of this issue is for the military to mop up arms from people. What's your opinion? Has that been effective?
There is one general, Anyola, some years back, who was the commandant of Operation Safe Haven some years back, who brought that idea of mopping up areas that were suspected to be hideout and then bases of criminals. Now some villages, particularly in Gashish district of Barkin Ladi local government, where around 11 villages or so were asked to vacate so that the military can carry out a mob totally of the area since it was believed that a lot of arms had been stocked there, the next thing was that there was a politicization of the whole issue. That Anyola could not get it easily because they were now accusing him that he wanted to send some people out of the land, and which was not the normalcy. Therefore, if there will be sincerity of purpose to mop up arms, that's a good one. But will they actually do it judiciously, truthfully, professionally, and execute it to the letter? The answer is, of course, no. In this country, there is always professional compromise of standards. Some people who have an ulterior motive, sentimental and extremist ideology, will always try to shortchange the process. So the intention can be good, but the implementation, if poor, does not amount to anything. It amounts to an act in futility. Therefore, if arm mopping can be done adequately, in fact, nobody will tell me that we don't know from where these people are coming. Everybody knows. Because normally in the security alert, they will say the people are moving in mass from so-so-so location to so-so-so location. Like the one that was recently done in Mangu. There were alerts all over that there were a mass number of terrorists moving from neighboring states into Plateau, and they particularly mentioned some areas, and actually those areas were attacked. So if an ordinary person would get to know that information, can you now tell me that ordinarily the security who are mounted with that responsibility wouldn't have known that one and taking pre-defensive action or actions that will even avert that situation? So if we can use the security alerts and even mob those arms, in truth, honestly, this thing will stop. Not only mopping arms, mopping criminals. We know them. We know where most of them are hidden. Security cannot tell us that they don't know from where these people are coming from. Nobody will come from another state overnight and come. No. Sometimes they move in vehicles. Sometimes they move through bush paths. And mostly, sometimes the people will see them. Who do you report to? Sometimes even if you report, you become the target. So people are even sometimes skeptical of even volunteering information because you are volunteering an information to a security man who you don't know his loyalty, whether he's a professional. In fact, sometimes we have even had situations that people are fake. People are fake. People can put uniform. It's not everybody that is in uniform that is a security man. You cannot differentiate. So there must be another way of identifying true officers, which must be known. And I want to say clearly here that those people that are security officers that have been vested with this responsibility must keep sentiment aside, must keep extremism aside, must keep fanaticism aside, then act professionally. All these problems will be over. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that perspective. We have also heard on social media, we cannot confirm that some of our former generals, side, PY and Juma, some others are saying that the people, citizens or individuals should be encouraged to defend themselves any way possible. Will that be a solution? Or what do you think about that?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Engineer Steven.
All right. It is not only a social media thing, but General Danjuma, T.Y. Danjuma, retired general, a veteran leader and an army officer to the core, had clearly said that unless and until the indigenous people of Nigeria rise to their feet in self-defense, there is a probability that we'll all be annihilated. And we are already seeing those symptoms. So he said it. It's not a social media propaganda. He said it. And I want to concur with him that if government cannot guarantee our security, we should be able to guarantee our security. Nobody guarantees your security more than you yourself. I am here in Barkin Ladi. Now, if there's a gunshot, I will be the first person to defend myself. not to wait on any police officer or security officer from anywhere. Before they come, I would have been gone. These people that were killed, some of them ran out, they were safe. Some of them, they ran out of them, they were killed. So who is supposed to be the best security officer to himself? It is you yourself. If I hear the sound of a gun now, I'll be the first person to respond. Therefore, the locals should be equipped. There must be a deliberate way of equipping every village, every settlement with at least something that they can be able to defend themselves. If not giving the people warfare machineries officially, they should be able to empower, employ locals and train them. In the events when these people come, I don't think they'll be able to find it funny. I think that's my suggestion.
Yes, in just addition to that, we learned also that the vigilantes have been trained by the police, and some of them have been licensed to carry weapons. Is that not equipping people to defend themselves, or are they not effective?
I don't get you.
Okay, we learned that vigilantes in different parts of the communities have been trained, and some of them are licensed to carry some weapons. Are they not in these areas that were attacked? Or are they not just effective?
The kind of lances that they're giving them is of class, lesser class fire type. Their firearms mostly are local. Most of them are not sophisticated. So when somebody is approaching you with an AK-47 or AK-41, I don't know, if he's approaching you with that kind of arm, can you be able to stand him with your local weapon? You can't. Somebody is carrying a submachine gun that carries hundreds of bullets, and he can release them at any time, sporadically. Can you be able to stand him with your local weapon? So it's not all about the training. It's about equipping them with equipments that can withstand the enemy's fire stand. So if you train somebody without equipping the person, it's an act in futility. Therefore, what I want to say, I remember during the Babajam governance, they also, Operation Rainbow was very strong. Though some people came condemning it, that it was a training that was done to be killing some people. And I even learned that some of the equipments that the Operation Rainbow had, I don't know whether that is true or not, are no longer in their position, because it is as if they were not authorized to have those kind of weapons like APC, armored personnel carrier vehicles, and then other armored cars. It was as if they were not supposed to have it. So how do you stand the enemy when it's up? I want to assure you that this thing is gradually growing. If we keep allowing these people coming from foreign nations to come into this country, I can assure you that it is just a deliberate way of testing our depth. And by the time these people get it, in fact, we will be shocked the kind of mayhem these people will unleash on us. So the earlier the better, we do something to stop them, or else we are all collectively in for it, without exception. I want to say there's no place that is safe in this country. No place is safe. I still repeat it, no place is safe, except the place that in your wildest imagination, you think you are safe. There's no place that is safe. When the enemy arms turn against you, wherever you are, it's then that you will know that what these locals are suffering, it's reality. Some of us were living in a limbo life. Some of us were living in a life that is not reality, in an unrealistic kind of life, where they're killing hundreds and thousands of people. Some people are still comfortable.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Engineer Choji Steven. I'm done with my questions from here. I don't know if any of my colleagues has an additional question to Gozie or Dan Elumba.
I think we have some hands that are raised up. Let's give them the opportunity before we take it further.
Very well. As I can see, two hands there, you're right, Okoye and Cholomgyang. Just before that, I have seen some new people joining. I don't know if our guest, Hosea, Honorable Hosea, has joined. If you are the one with the Galaxy or God will prosper, you will need to log out and log back in and authorize audio, because we are not able to, you'll not be able to speak. So if you have joined as you don't have an audio icon, Galaxy 12, God will prosper, and Kennel Gregold rather, please log out and log back in. As you log back in, authorize audio. So in the meantime, I would call on Okoye. Please, you have 2 minutes, make your question or contribution. Okoye. Okoye, are you there? Please unmute yourself. Okay. While Okoye is trying to find his way around, Cholomgyang, the mic is yours. You can unmute yourself before Okoye prepares. You have 2 minutes for any question or contribution you want to make.
Okoye, try again. I have reset to the setting to allow people to mute themselves now.
Okay. Okoye, then please. Cholomgyang, please.
Okay, thank you. Now I can unmute and ask my question. I had our guest mention that these people perpetrating this evil are known. That these people are known, that he visited some head of a village that mentioned that he knows these people, but he cannot give their names to the authority. And that to me is a bit, I don't know what to make of it. How can head of the village or village elders and people that's been killed knows these people that killed them and still refusing to, work with the authorities to get these people apprehended? I don't understand it. Because he mentioned that it's not religious, it's not tribal, it's not political. Then what is it? I'm really confused. Do they just like to kill people? Because I saw one picture of a baby crying at the back of her mom while the mother is dead. These are evil things that is happening in Plateau State. And people know these people perpetrating this evil, and people are refusing to give them up. Can please someone explain it to me, because I don't understand it.
Thank you very much, Okoye. You have any response to that?
Yes. Hello.
Carry on, Engineer Steven. Carry on. What's your take?
You see, even the discussions that we are making now, we are making it because we understand what we are saying. But how many people understand the danger in which they are in? Somebody who will see someone with a gun and he knows the person and is not ready to volunteer that information, you now force him? You can't force him. And you cannot even go to the security and say you know the people to come and force him. Because my own is, I believe that if you really know what is happening, I cannot see a criminal who has come to my house and I know him, and I will not volunteer that information to the security. Some of us are moving. We move because we feel that we are not only protecting those people's life, we are also indirectly protecting our own lives. Because eventually, when they finish with those people, they are not going to spare anybody. So it's not everybody that understands it. It's not every person that even understands the danger of what this nation is going through. It's not everybody that understands the danger of what Plateau State is going through. It's not everybody that understands the danger of what he or she is even going through. When they see it happening somewhere, they feel that it's just happening somewhere. Tomorrow it will happen with me. It will happen with you. It will happen with every person. So if somebody doesn't have the bravery, he doesn't have the courage to explain it or to volunteer that information, you cannot force the person.
Thank you very much, Engineer Steven. So it's a bit of cowardice mixed with just personal fright. All right, thank you. Chulamgyang, you have 2 minutes. Please unmute yourself. You can make a contribution or ask a question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thank you very much. I think the issue needs to be understood perhaps in a much wider perspective. 2 years ago, the PSG, an NGO, called us for a meeting in Jos. They asked us to come with, hello?
Sorry, what is the PSG?
Peace and Social Justice. It's an NGO.
Thank you. Thank you. Carry on, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. They asked us to come with some of the victims of these attacks, that they want to hear their own narratives, their own testimonies. We did that because I am one of the leaders of our people. One of them that came opened his wound and told them clearly, without missing words, it was a soldier that shot him. The soldier was one of those that were stationed in their village to protect them. But on the day of the attack, it was the same soldier stationed there that the Fulanis paid to come and attack them. Now, that's one example. There is a district in Barkin Ladi called FAN. That is my district. Before this time, there were military checkpoints in that district. And there was never a week that passed without an attack. And areas very close to the military checkpoints were the most seriously endangered areas. And each time the attack took place, there was no soldier on guard. There was no soldier on duty. They disappeared into thin air. But when the people protested and the checkpoints were removed, there has never been any attack in that district again. My brother, let's be very honest with ourselves. This issue of seeing something and reporting makes no sense to some of us because the people you are reporting to are the masterminds of the same problem you want to solve. Every day there is an alert preceding an attack. And this alert gets to all the sector commanders in the local government. They get to the commander of the Operation Safe Haven. Yet the attacks come predictively. If Colonel M.D. Abdul Salam, the former sector commander of Operation Safe Haven in Barkin Ladi, was able to nip these killings to the bud completely, it means it is an attitudinal issue. It means since after he left, the killings record, it means it is something that somebody is allowing deliberately. He is not an angel. He is not a ghost. He's a human being. And he was able to stand and put an end to it. So that means any other person can still do it. And if it is not done, it means somebody is perpetuating it, is benefiting from it. The issue of reporting to, if I as a civilian can have access to his intelligence report, I'll be the most stupid person, with due respect, to believe that the soldier, the man in uniform, does not have access to that same report, which emanates from them. They have the same information, even more. But what we have is a situation of complicity. We have lost absolute confidence in the security agencies. If the same security people have been parading local indigenes for manufacturing them guns, who gave them that information? And yet Mahanga is here. They know that that's the headquarters of the terrorists. They see the terrorists come in motorcycles, wearing black every day. They're going for an attack. They pass through checkpoints. Nobody harasses them. And I'm now asked to go and give them information. What information? When they already know the place. Everything that's happening in Plateau State is open. The security people know it. With due respect, it is just an issue of the collapse of morality and professionalism. If I am a commander of the Operation Safe Haven, I don't need anybody to ask me to go after the attackers. Why am I supposed to go? Is that not my mandate? You don't employ a teacher and ask that every child must pass. That is his mandate. A soldier on Operation Safe Haven, peacekeeping in Jos, knows that he's here to ensure peace. If the indigenes are the ones that are harassing the Fulanis, go after them for God's sake. But if the reverse is the case, do the same thing. But what we have seen is a situation whereby somebody begins to go on a selective amnesia. When it pleases him, he's on the even when you call, okay, they are coming. They will not come until after the attacks are gone. Then when the local chaps are responding, it is them that the security men will come and arrest. For God's sake, let's stop all these things. If the government wants to solve this problem, it won't take more than a month to clear these terrorists. But we have not seen that. And nobody, yesterday, I was watching a program. One of a military man was saying that it's a collapse of community, it's a failure of government, it's a failure of blah, 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 blah. For God's sake, when the community tries to arm itself, soldiers come and parade them that they have already been arrested with arms. But Fulanis will carry AK-47. Nobody will arrest them. Where are we heading to? I'm so sorry, sir. This thing is so emotional that I can see the efforts you people are making. But please try to understand our precarious situation. It's like you are beating a child, you prevent it from crying, and you have not stopped beating him. If the soldiers will not be fair to everybody, like my brother, Engineer Steven, has said, let them withdraw the soldiers and let us face these people. If they kill us, let them take the land. That's all. Thank you very much.
That was quite deep and emotional, Mr. Cholom Yang. Thank you for that honest declaration. And we pray that things come to normalcy as soon as possible. So is there any question? Anybody else with a question or comments? So far, there is none for now. Mr. Dan Elumba, do you have anything to chip in?
I was thinking Chigozie has further question in it.
Okay. Chigozie, are you there? Do you have any question?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Choji. I would like to ask, how can individuals and organizations outside of the state support the affected communities? How can we lend our voice in support of what's going on?
Again, please. Come again.
I said, how can individuals and organizations outside Plateau State support the affected communities? What can we do to support?
The truth is, evil has been unleashed on the people, and many survivors are out of their homes now. I think what we need to do as a first aid is to see how we can intervene for those that are alive. maybe in form of food, clothing, and maybe shelter. I was watching with my son, I was watching what you see in this country. You just see where some people, some IDPs, they call IDPs, I think, was it in Benue or so? They just made some ladders like this, some polythene bags. They are just covering them. It was very pathetic. Then they were showing somewhere in Lagos, a hotel where people were celebrating a jamboree. You cannot imagine that we're all in the same country. Very pathetic. So what I want us to do for the moment is to see how we can be able to touch, where we can be able to get a habitable place for them, because like now in Barkin Ladi, at the RCC headquarters, where the firebrand evangelist Techomo is, he has carried a lot of people. He cannot continue to keep them for more than 1 week. He was even in church pleading that people should come up. So I think this kind of city can see how they can be able to assist the affected. And I think also that doing that kind of alleviation or interface or assistance should only be temporary. The most important thing is to knock out the security challenge. The root cause of why these people are running away from their homes. The root cause of why people are being killed. If we can be able to meet that one at the boot, every other thing will be solved. We are not interested in palliative. It's just but a requirement. We are not interested. Most of us, we have hands, we have brains, we have capacity, we have ability to produce more than. People are telling us that they're giving us 25,000 for the less privileged. What will that do for you? For 3 months, not even for 1 year. For 3 months, 25,000, 25,000. How much would that 25,000 do for you and your family household? So even today, the environment can be conducive for people to operate their businesses free and fair. You can go to your farm, you can farm and your crops are secured. You can go anywhere and you are secured. Let me tell you, we don't need any government intervention for anything. So let us try and see. This will be just a first aid way of assisting the people that are not at home. Let us see if we can be able to get an abort and a place, a settlement for them, that they will be able to get the basic things of life while we wait for them to be returned to their villages. Nothing is going to bring peace until every person, every survivor that has been displaced and their areas occupied illegally by terrorists, until everybody go back to his home, I can assure you that there will be no peace. There is no peace in an era of injustice. There is no peace where I cannot access my father's ancestral home. There is no peace whatsoever. We know it. Thank you.
Because I think Mr. Choji has made a very salient point here when he says a jamboree is happening in Lagos and people are being massacred in Middle Belt, and some Nigerians can't have food to eat in the IDP camps. If that does not touch a chord in anyone, I wonder what will touch such a person. Because just 48 hours ago, we are seeing a glittering party being hosted by Tony Elumelu. And you see the glittering people at those parties and how they are simply enjoying themselves. At the same time, in another part of the country, 107 people are being killed. I refused to watch that video, but I managed, because of this interview, I went to watch that video today. A mother cradling a child. 2 or 3 mothers, actually not just one person. You see children crying because their mother has been killed while carrying the children, those two crying children, in their arms. And that is in the same Nigeria, where some other people are having great fun. I don't know. Mr. Ejiro, you're raising up your hand.
Yes, thank you everyone for this platform or opportunity. My condolences.
I'm sorry, Cholom Yang raised his hand before you. So, Mr. Yang, I'm so sorry. Please allow Ejiro to finish and then you come in. So sorry for this.
Oh, sorry about that.
Go ahead.
So
Ejiro,
yes, I've been worried, like when will this type of forum take place to tackle such situation that always occurs in the north central of Nigeria. I'm not from that region. I'm from the Niger Delta region, the south, which shares boundary with the north central of Nigeria. And I've listened to every one of you. I hear the passion in the voices of everyone. It is time that we do regional activities, security-wise, because where is next, like Engineer Steven said earlier, where do you think will be next? There's no place safe in Nigeria. I do not live in Nigeria. People cannot even walk freely in Nigeria anymore. Let us not deceive ourselves. It's already everywhere. So what is the way forward? I think it is time we have these regional summits between the south, the north central, since we share the same boundaries, because if the north central is not safe, there's no way the south can be safe, because that would be the next place these things will continue to happen, or terrorists will take over. There's no way people should leave their homes because of terrorists. When we have security outfits in Nigeria, we have the police, we have military celebrating, like you said, in Lagos, there's jamboree going on in Lagos. The Southwest is safe. Why can't our own brothers in the North Central be safe and enjoy? So it is time we take a holistic approach on this thing. The talk is enough. Let us pass talk now. We see dead bodies. I wasn't even able to watch that video because I know how it will make me feel. But it is time we take these actions, security summit and actions, because we continue talking without actions, then it's like business as usual. After this, what is the next step? Please, if we can decide on that in this forum, it will be really nice. We in the Niger Delta are ready for what has to happen next right now, because we cannot continue like this. So please, what is the next step to be taken? People need to go back home. It's not natural disaster. This is caused by fellow human beings like us. So we cannot fold our hands and say, oh, people ran away from their homes. We need to find a way to take care of them. We need to bring these people back home. We need to secure these areas. What is the way forward? If we can deliberate on that before the end of this meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, Mr. Cholom.
Yes, sir. Yes, I appreciate. I'm in total support of what the last speaker just said, and that is in response to the earlier questions you had asked, Stephen. What are we expecting kind of help from you people in the interim? And I think he has adequately addressed the issue of the post-trauma necessities or demands of the victims. But I want to believe that the Bible says faith comes by hearing. The government needs to be told repeatedly. Even if they don't believe us, they will believe you, being better placed to help in policy formulation of government, that the present security architecture in dealing with the situation on ground has failed woefully because it was meant to fail ab initio. You see, Buhari deliberately coached out this phrase of farmer-herder clash. And The intention was to lower down the negative or the bloody effect of what was happening. He knew, his government knew, his handlers knew that what was happening was not a farmer hadler clash. It wasn't a clash. It was and still remains pure terrorism. And because the perpetrators were his own, he would not want to be seen as working against them. So he devised that phrase to divert attention. But truly speaking, if we want to address this issue fundamentally, the truth of the matter is that the military, as it is presently constituted, is not fighting any terrorism. I have no empirical evidence to buttress this fact, but from what one can deduce, it has become like a milking field. You just come in to make money and go. Every soldier that comes some percentage does. If he doesn't make money, he doesn't want to make money. Because we saw what happened with some of the commanders of the Operation Saving, how they immediately became cow rearers, immediately they landed. The office became like a place of rearing cows. Where did they get the cows from? And we saw the compromises they entered into. So unless the government decides today that this thing is enough and give the soldiers a marching order, it will continue like that. And let me tell you one thing, sir. I go into a new place. I kill the people. I stay there. And the next move, I'm told that, okay, live in peace. For God's sake, is that justice? No. The typical example was in 2018 in Gashis, in Barkin Ladi, for 3 days, from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. People were being killed. Not a single soldier was around. Not one member of the Operation Savebun. For these 3 days, none of them was on ground. Now, by Monday the following week and the week after, soldiers appeared and they were keeping security, providing security for those that were in the previous week engaged in killing, who have now taken over the houses of those they had killed, and some of them that have relocated. They were now living inside those houses, and soldiers were now guarding them. Even if we don't have the fear of God, something should tell somebody that something is wrong. Those soldiers remain there. They are still there. They were not there when the owners of the houses and the land were being killed, but they returned immediately after the exercise, and they are providing security for the killers. And the killers are the ones that we have been told now to live happily with them. Does that show any sign that we have human brains in us? The basis for a solution is to ensure that if I have committed offense, if I have done the crime, let me do the time. But note that even the Bible says, the Bible does not say that the wages of crime is for the wages of sin is forgiveness. No, it's death. Let me pay for my sin. Then that will serve as a deterrent to others. From thereafter, we'll now begin to look at why did that happen and what do we need to do to prevent it from recurring. But not just to cover sin, not to cover evil, not to cover this terrorism and assume nothing has happened. It doesn't. Remember, some of those surviving children knew, they witnessed how their parents were killed, and that thing will remain with them. And you want them to just grow up and just say, nobody, no problem. And knowing that those that are living in their former houses, in their ancestral homes, are the grandchildren of those that killed their own grandparents. I mean, we are just suspending the problem to another day. Let government take a decisive step. I believe the federal government is in a better position to do that because it has nothing to gain from aiding and abetting the terrorism in place. It inherited, but it can cure it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Okoye.
Thank you
Mr.
again.
Cholom,
Thank you very much, Dan. Again, I think from what I've been hearing tonight, because I'm trying to sort of tie up the loose ends with regards to the information that is being provided to us this evening, I think it's safe to say that this is government-sponsored genocide, because I don't see any other way of explaining what is going on in Plateau State for some years now without saying that this is government-sponsored mass killing, a wholesale killing of a particular tribe in that Plateau State. Because, you know, this has been happening. People know that this is happening. People know when it's going to happen. The military, like we've been hearing, knows these people and allow them to roam free just to slaughter people in a wholesale manner. So this is government-sponsored wholesale killing. And we have to find a way to provoke the government into action, proper action. Because the way we are, discussing this, in a sort of calling it terrorism and all these things, that absolves the government of responsibility, as if they don't know who is doing this. If we absolve them of that responsibility and call it terrorism, then they just keep doing the same thing that they're doing. And people will believe in that it's just simply terrorism. But we have to call this what it is. We have to call it what it is. It's a government-sponsored wholesale killing in Plateau State. We have to provoke them into action. Let them come and deny that they're not sponsoring this wholesale killing in Plateau State and elsewhere in the middle belt of the country. Otherwise, they just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and people will be being massacred in this manner. This has to stop, and the government has to be provoked. Let us label them genocidal government. Let us, put it across to the international community that the government is the one sponsoring this. Let them come and explain how this is happening under their nose for some years now. We can't just keep absolving them that responsibility.
All right. I think Prince Rampan will take a message back to Samba to see how they will step into this problem. Lady Mercy Jethro Akon, please. Can you unmute yourself?
Good evening, House. Happy Christmas, though it's a Black Christmas here in Jos because of what is happening. I want to tell you that this thing that is happening now, the next place will be my place. Because government in this country, they will allow Fulani to move one side and they will be going to the other side to attack. If you go to my village today, there's no place that Fulani have not occupied. And now that they are in my place now, they will be attacking Bokos, Mangu, and so on. By the time you will see that they have disappeared from Miango, they are moving to these areas. They will now come back to attack Miango people. What am I saying here? When they attack our people and they wanted to retaliate, they were burning houses, killing people, and the military were standing. My prayer now is that since almost all of us that are affected in this area, I'm hearing different voices from them. Let all of us come together. These people are bringing people all over. Why can't we also group ourselves and face these people? Why can't we, for once, come out, the whole plateau should come out and tell military, we don't need you again. Look at where they settled their people. They have armor tank stationed there. They're stationed there. You dare not go closer to those people. And the same people will leave that place to come and attack us. And you cannot go there. I am pleading with our people that let the whole plateau come out and say, we don't need military people in our areas because they are the ones that are causing problems. In my village, the Fulanis will go and eat your cow. When they finish eating your cow, they will tell you, go and report to military officer. When you go to a soldier man, the soldier man will tell you, go and meet the person that ate your cow. Did you see me in your farm? The person that ate your farm, go and meet him. And when you meet the Fulani to speak on one-on-one, the way the soldier man told you to do, the Fulani will tell you whether you like it or not. I cannot pay you more than 5,000. and you cannot do anything, and we will eat your farm again. I don't know, speaking with authority, it's not because they have backing. If they have backing and we do not have backing, if the government of the federation or the government of the state is not ready to back us, are we supposed to sit down and continue watching? I have put certain plans in place that we should get people, but when you talk here, they are not ready here. They'll say, no, these people should be doing their own. If we are doing alone, they will finish all of us. But when we form a force, a formidable force, I'm telling you, we'll go somewhere, we can face these people. Even me as a woman, I can join. We can face them. We are suffering here. We are being killed every day. If you see the way they are killing us, you'll be surprised. So please, on this platform, I am pleading with all of us that help me beg our Plateau people that we should form a formidable force and face these people, since government is not for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ladi Akun. I was in the hand of Myers before. Has he left?
Yeah, not really. I'm here.
Okay,
Good
Myers.
evening, everyone. Yeah. Actually, the Honorable Engineer Steven Choji Kim has stopped from what I wanted to say. Also, Mr. Cholom Gang has also touched a little, but just to emphasize, obviously the state government, which have a role to play in the whole of this, have remained silent. I remember the issue of Gashish that he talked about, that it took 3 days for aggressors to be killing people without any government intervention. I was there the 4th day, Monday, when we went with buses to pack bodies of the people that were killed in that village. That was when troops, about 14 hillocks of the SDF, Joint Task Force, came. And they said, look, you have to offload these bodies back because they've given us authority. I mean, notice that we shouldn't allow anyone to take anybody out. We were trying to take these bodies to the police station in Barkin Ladi, where every media house was alerted to come and see what was happening. But because they saw that this thing was going to go viral, they did all they did and stopped us from taking anybody out of that community, where over 100 people, of course, then were killed. So as we speak right now, with all that has happened for these days, it is so sad that even the State House of Assembly that can sit and legislate and communicate, the STF commander or the commissioner of police, who is responsible, immediate person that can communicate any security information in the state, are on recess. They call it recess, for 2 months recess. At one forum, I was in a meeting where someone made this question or asked the speaker, with all that is happening, aren't you supposed to call the legislators so you can come up with something, since the government, you are the people who make the laws, and then make these people to act fast? That man said, look, he said, look, it's not only me. It's not only me. The legislative arm is there. The judiciary and the executive arms are there. So why are you asking only the legislators to do? So much wrong. They will spend time killing people, but when the villagers come up to see how they can defend themselves, if you go to the SDF command, if you go to their camp, you discover that it's the villagers who got up to defend themselves that are being arrested. You won't see any Fulani, you won't see any aggressor, all the people that are not even from that community among the people that were arrested. The only people you will see there are the same rural people who got up to defend themselves that are being arrested because they got up to defend themselves. When you talk about recovering arms from people, communities, and all that, it's just like saying, go to a Fulani man and say it is wrong to take Furadenono. How can that be possible? It's very, very sad what is happening in Plateau State. It's very sad. All we keep hearing is we condemn in stronger terms. We condemn. Audio condemnation, no action at all whatsoever. So I agree with my Niger Delta brother, who is of the opinion that if Plateau, and also Mrs. Ladi LGA, who are coming with the opinion that if Plateau people should come up with a formidable force to meet, to get these people know that, look, we are tired of waiting. We are tired of waiting for the law, since the government who has the law will not act but play politics with people's life. We are going all to defend ourselves. Even though something like this happened some time ago, 2010 or so, 2008, 2010. But government rather were locking everywhere at the government house, where people marched to the government house to air their voices. But the gates were locked. People were locked outside. Security came and were sending people away from the gate. So I know with all that has happened and all that is still happening that the world is seeing, I believe that video that is circulating of all those women that were killed, tying their babies who are alive, crying, will touch or would have gone far to the ears and eyes of people. And I'm sure by the time Plateau people come out to say, look, we are out to defend ourselves, we don't have confidence in the security. Mr. Cholo made example of with the fan community. That is where I came from. All STF were loitered all around. You can't drive 1, 2, 5 minutes without having a security checkpoint. 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes without having a security. And each of those security checkpoints, you see cows, kites all over. They are owned by the security operator. But again, it's the same area where you see that people were killed, just proximal to the checkpoint. But the day the community of Fan as a district got up and said, look, we don't need any security around. If we see you, we label you a criminal, a terrorist. Today, there's no checkpoint in Fan. In the whole of Fan, Fan is one of the biggest districts in land in Plateau State. Today, Fan, there is no attack, no history of any attack except neighboring areas that people will even go and defend, you know. So if Plateau people can take cue from what the fan community has done, trust me, all these green people, the security people will be sent back to their barracks, and then I will defend ourselves. I like what Mr. Cholom said. Let's face these people. If they will kill us, let them kill us and take the land. If they cannot kill us, then we send them away. I spoke with someone today in Israel. He said Hezbollah and these people send missiles, but we return it to them. We fired them back. So I believe enough is enough. We can lend our voice either on this platform or at any forum that Plateau people are tired of this security who are being used by these aggressors to kill the people and take over. This is pure case of land grabbing, ancestral cleansing, and all that. So we are ready. This platform can help us to circulate or take this to any quarter they can to ensure that it gets to the government in Plateau State and it gets to even the security architecture in Plateau State. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Master. Sorry, then I'd like to just make a quick check if our other guests had been in. Mr. Hosea Gilak, are you around? If you're around, please unmute and say something because we know you're relatively new to this media. The Honorable from Bocas Progressive, if you're around, please unmute and say something. Okay, I guess he's not. And once again, our guest, one of our guests, Evangelist, Reverend Evangelist Ezekiel Dachumo sends his apologies. And I think he has been overwhelmed by emotion, and psychologically he was not feeling too good to appear. let's keep in our prayers. Thank you very much, Dan.